Welcome to the Rob Bro Show. I am Rob Bro. I am the host. You are the co-host. You can co-host today by commenting on the starting line, chat line. Other way. We also have Carson Robinson here today.
It's right here on mine, too. It's this way on mine, too.
No, it's that way.
Yeah, that way.
You're pointing to me.
It doesn't matter. On mine, I'm pointing the same way you are.
Oh, you're I guess you're mirrored on mine.
Yeah.
Anyways, point to me, point to the chat line, whatever it is. Already got some comments. Let's go from Roy. It's go time from Corbin. The Rob Bro Radio Show. All spelled the correct way.
That's how we should have spelt it in general.
Then we got Rob and Carson the Goats. I wonder what that's an acronym for because it's a lot of letters. But I'm in.
That's Cajun for greatest of all time right there, Bobby.
Right. All right. What else do we have today? We've got the Texas Rangers magic number to 3, both for the Mariners and the Astros. So whoever wins tonight in the Mariners-Astros series is good for Texas. We'll also talk about the Dallas Cowboys laying an egg against the Cardinals and what happens moving forward. Was it just a one-off, or are the Cowboys more like that than the previous 2 games? I think it's a little bit of both. And then we'll talk about the Texas Tech Red Raiders and how they have a must-win game 5 weeks into the season, which I did not expect. But here we are. And I would have told you that was a must-win game before, but now it's a different kind of must-win. We'll talk about that. But as always, we'll start with the Texas Rangers and the Major League Baseball season. It feels like every other week this is a different kind of conversation. We're either all the way out or all the way in. And here for 2 weeks in a row, we've been all the way in on the Rangers. Pretty good week. You lose. Okay, so you sweep the Mariners, then you get swept by the Guardians. And we're like, okay, this is ridiculous. But now you've taken one from you
lost the first 2 to Boston, won the last, kind of from going really in the dumps. And then you sweep the Mariners at home, which was absolutely huge. And we talked about if you could sweep the Mariners, you probably win the division. And now they find themselves in.
So you swept the Blue Jays, then you got swept by the Guardians.
Right.
That's right. And then you nearly got swept by the Red Sox. But take one at the end. Now I'm back. So
there you go.
It's been a week or two, but also this weekend when you had, let's say, one of your best weekends because you swept the Mariners, the Astros also got swept by the Royals, which completely
how about that?
Completely flipped the division back in the Rangers' favor. So it's yours to lose with 5 games left.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you're 2.5 games up on the Astros going into today, which you were yesterday too. Is big. You lost yesterday, but the Astros lost yesterday because Seattle did you a favor yesterday. You needed Seattle to win that game yesterday. That was huge. But yeah, the Astros really kind of tanked it by getting swept by Kansas City because Kansas City is just bad. And yeah, Alan just posted it. I was just about to say the same stat. Houston's lost 7 of 9 to Oakland and Kansas City. Not good.
Brutal.
It's just, ugh. How do you do that to 2 bad baseball teams? I mean, you're talking about 2 teams that are at the very bottom of the list. Kansas City has 54 wins. Oakland has 48 wins. They barely have 100 wins combined.
Yeah.
Of those 2 teams. They're not good. They're going to be the first 2 picks in the MLB draft this year.
And when you look at it, the Astros were so excited, at least the Astros fans were so excited to end the season because they had the easiest schedule. And I said, it's never easy. And you've got teams you struggle with just because, and the Royals are one of those teams that the Astros just seem to struggle with. Now, they generally take care of business against the Oakland A's, but they didn't in the last 2 weeks, and that's been huge for the Texas Rangers, who are now, again, as you said, 2.5 games up with 5 games remaining. So the magic number is 3.
Yep.
If you don't know what a magic number is, it's either a win from you or a loss from the other team that's chasing you. You need at least 3 of those. So you need at least 3 wins or at least 3 losses from the Mariners and the Astros.
Well, and if you win tonight and the Mariners lose tonight, then the Mariners are eliminated from being able to win the division. If you win tonight and the Mariners win tonight, because you only play 3 more games, you have 5 games left, right?
You have 4 against the Mariners.
Okay, yeah, you have a 4-game series. Okay, so yeah, they wouldn't mathematically be eliminated by the time you play them.
They could sweep you.
Yeah. You would have to win one of those games to beat the Mariners out of the last wild card spot if it came to that.
So you're also, speaking of the wild card, you're also 1 up on the Blue Jays. So you're the 2nd in the wild card. So that you're in a good spot there. You just have to win.
You just got to win a couple more games, and then, I think you have to win tonight in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
You got to beat the Angels tonight, and then take 2 on the road at split the series at Seattle, and you win the division.
Can I say something?
Win one, you get the wild card.
Can I say something dangerous?
Yeah, what's up?
Barring a complete meltdown, the Rangers will be in the playoffs. Barring a huge, catastrophic 2012 level meltdown. 2013, when was it? 14? When did they lose 6 straight to lose the division of the A's?
Oh gosh, what was that? That was Josh Hamilton's last 2015, 12, something like Josh Hamilton. Yeah, Josh Hamilton's last year in Texas, because it was brutal. Those last couple of weeks, that last week of the season.
So, barring a catastrophic end of the season like that, you're going to win the division.
Yeah, completely agree with you.
Jacob says, "Careful, Rob. There's a 2% chance you'll be wrong." Yeah, absolutely. There's a chance I'll be wrong, and you can get swept. You've done it before.
Well, your bullpen's bad enough to get swept by anybody.
Well, and Leclerc seems to be back. Andrew Heaney has been a dangerous weapon in the bullpen.
Knock on some wood, please.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, not a little stitious, just not superstitious, just a little stitious over here.
You've had some pretty good action there. Let's see. I'm gonna check.
Well, I mean,
the Astros.
they've been at times where they've been one of the best bullpens in the big leagues, right? When you rattle off 8-9 wins in a row early in the season, you do it again in the second half of the season. You do it again here in the last week. You win 6 in a row. The bullpen looks really good. The starting pitching looked really good. The offense has been clicking. And then you have a couple bad innings yesterday that set you back a little bit, both defensively, not so much pitching, because Cody Bradford wasn't terrible yesterday. But defensively, you weren't good, gave up a few runs early, and then you just got behind the 8 ball, and Anaheim pitched pretty well. Los Angeles, whatever they are. Who cares? They suck. Yeah, but anyway, it comes down to pitching. Once you get into the playoffs, especially, it's going to come down to how good can this pitching staff be. Hopefully you get Max Scherzer back. I don't care to see him the rest of the regular season. And if you're in a wild card situation, I don't care to see him in a best-of-3 series unless it's game 3 and you need a dude on the mound and Scherzer says, yeah, give me the daggum ball.
I wonder if Scherzer would do like a long relief bit.
See, I don't know a guy like that. Yeah.
If great and being a starter.
Yeah, if you're so used to being a starter and you're used to the preparation that comes with being a starter and you're not prepared to do that, especially a guy like Max Scherzer who's, towards the tail end of his career, does he really want to risk a career ender on coming in from the bullpen in a situation where you need 3-4 innings from him? I don't think so. I think it's a situation where the Rangers won't do that to him, and Max doesn't want that to happen to him either.
Well, and I'm sure there will be deference there to Max. He can say whatever he wants to do.
Yeah, he's earned the right to do whatever he wants.
Save Mad Max for the ALDS Game 3 or later.
Yeah, I'm good with that. If I would be perfectly fine. I'd be fine with it if you don't have to throw him in the ALDS, to be honest with you.
Just let him
Save
throw.
him for the ALCS. Let's go to the ship, baby. If you can
Well,
take this, Bruce Bochy takes this Texas Rangers team to the World Series this year.
He's the greatest of all time.
He's on that list. He's up there, man.
He's just going to the World Series.
Yeah, some of those San Francisco Giant teams that he took to the World Series, weren't your best teams on paper by any means.
No.
So, yeah, I mean, he's up there with the Bobby Coxes of the world who won how many NL East pennants in a row and were winning NL pennants all the time. It just
right, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
Let's just focus on that magic number of 3.
Yeah, you got to get 3 first.
And winning the division would be huge in this world. Alan says, if the Rangers go to the World Series, I'll do a Cyclone Larry type bet, which would be tasing his nutsack.
We're on Coach Beans eating a worm.
Yeah. So there you heard it. If the Rangers go to the World Series, Alan Corbin will tase his nutsack live on this show.
That would be the best episode we've ever had.
We'll cue him in through the pants because we can't have
we can't have nudity on YouTube.
Can't have nudity, but through the pants.
It's a family show.
All right. Let's move on here because we're getting way too far into the weeds here. We'll talk about World Series and the playoffs next week.
What else is new?
But I do want to talk about the Dallas Cowboys losing to the Cardinals. Now, I predicted this. I said it was going to happen. The Cardinals are what the A's are to the Astros this year, apparently.
What the Detroit Tigers have been to the Texas Rangers for years.
The Dallas Cowboys cannot beat the Cardinals in Arizona. Have you heard this? They're 6-8 in the last 7 trips. The Cardinals are 6-8 in the last 8 times hosting the Cowboys. Let me say that one more time. The Cowboys are 2-8 on the road. 6 of 8 losing to the Arizona Cardinals in Arizona.
That'd be 2-6, but yeah.
In their last 8.
Yeah.
6 of 8 losses.
Yeah. Not good. They're not good in Arizona. Can't play in the desert.
I told you that last week on one of the shows. I said, be careful with the Arizona Cardinals. I picked the Cardinals on our little Picks with Friends thing. I knew it was going to happen. So here's my hope. That is just an NFL game in Arizona, and there is nothing to worry about with the Dallas Cowboys. But when I mentioned this earlier, you had a few thoughts. What are your thoughts?
Well, for one, Dak Prescott's just not the guy. You're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy.
A lot of people say that.
And when it comes, and I've been saying that for this for how long? Since they drafted him, really. And everybody put their stock in Dak Prescott, and oh man, I think he's going to lead the Dallas Cowboys to the Super Bowl, and they're going to have multiple Super Bowls with Dak Prescott. Never been on that ship.
Had a great first season.
Yeah, because he had the best offensive line in the NFL.
True.
And he had, he's had dudes on the wide receiver. He had one of the best tight ends to ever play the game. I think there's a lot to be said about the guys around you that can make you look like a really good quarterback. I mean, here's the thing. Patrick Mahomes, really good quarterback. He looked a lot better when he had Tyreek Hill on his roster. Tua Tagovailoa is looking really good right now with Tyreek Hill and the weapons around him to do it. You've got to have weapons around you to be a good quarterback. Dak Prescott, even with the weapons he has now, I mean, CeeDee Lamb is one of the quickest and best wide receivers, I think, in the NFL. He can go and do everything he needs to do on a Sunday anywhere, anytime, but you have to have a quarterback that can get it to a guy like CeeDee Lamb, which he did against the Giants. Looked really good. Did it against the Jets too, even with Sauce Gardner out there. But in Arizona, was it a fluke what he did? That pass into triple coverage in the end zone, you can't do that. It's a first down play. You're a world-class athlete. You're getting paid nicely to be the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. How do you throw that into triple coverage on first down? It's not second, third, fourth down where you have to score a touchdown, and you do have to score a touchdown in that scenario. Just throw it out the back of the end zone, man. Live to play another down. That's terrible football. That's junior high stuff.
That was awful. And he threw a bunch of those last year, and he hadn't thrown any this year. If that Dak Prescott remains, if interception throwing Dak Prescott remains, he's not going to be a Dallas Cowboy in 2 years.
No, and the Eagles are going to run away with the division if that's your Dak Prescott that you're going to get this year.
Well, they might anyways.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, but you would like to think that the Cowboys have a good enough team to compete in this division and try and be there with the Eagles at the end with a chance to win a division. You would hope, as a Dallas Cowboys fan. For me, I hope the Eagles run away with the division just because I love it. Not that I'm an Eagles fan. I'm a Jason Kelce fan. But
who's not?
Yeah, who's not a Kelce fan?
Can I be honest here? I hate how many likable dudes the Eagles have. I like Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
I like Jason Kelce and Mailata and the offensive line. I think they have a really good offensive line. I love watching them play. I love watching the Jalen Hurts sneak.
Yeah.
It's beautiful that nobody else can do that. Why can't the Cowboys do that with Dak?
Why can't anyone else do it?
Well, you're not doing it with Tua.
Yeah, probably not. That's a good point.
Yeah. Lubbock High puts their one of their offensive linemen in at quarterback and does the Jalen Hurts push.
Yeah. It's like the Belldozer play that Oklahoma used to have with Blake Bell.
Yeah.
Kansas City does do that sometimes still.
Yeah, with Blake Bell. Yeah. Oh, and Travis Kelce was a quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah. For a semester in college.
Yeah. In high school, I guess I should say.
Yeah, in high school he was a quarterback, but at Cincinnati he played quarterback his freshman year. But yeah, I mean, and then if you watch the Jason Kelce, the Being Kelce documentary or whatever it was called on Prime, if you haven't watched that, you should go watch it. It's really good, actually.
Yeah.
It's more or less about Jason Kelce than it is about Travis Kelce, but you get the gist of it really well. It just takes through a season with them, and you kind of like the Eagles a lot more than what you should when you're from Texas. Now, I've never been a huge Cowboys fan, if I'm being completely honest, but everybody in my household and around me always has been so. And you, obviously, you and your pops have always been diehards. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I for the Cowboys, you hope that Dak doesn't show up that much this year. And you did see what losing a guy like Diggs does in the secondary. Did you get a takeaway last week in the secondary? Josh Dobbs played phenomenally well, by the way.
That was obviously his best game as an NFL quarterback.
Oh yeah, that's fact.
Maybe one of his best games all the way back to Tennessee.
I can't remember him playing like that when I watched him when he was at Tennessee. And there's another funny story to that is Dobbs went to the did you see this video? He goes to the team store in the stadium, can't even get his own jersey made for his family members.
Personalized one.
He wasn't even on the roster.
Yeah.
That's great. But you know what? For Arizona, that's a good win for the Cardinals. They're not going to win a whole lot more this year. It's just one of those deals where the Cowboys played like crap. You don't want it to become a problem.
And I don't think it will be. I think it's just an NFL game. The NFL
happens.
It happens.
Yeah.
You wish it didn't to the Cowboys 3 weeks in. That's like a week 12 weird loss.
Right.
But week 3, that's frustrating, especially after just dominating the Giants and the Jets. Alan in the starting line chat line says Cowboys fans have already wanting to tank for Caleb and Lincoln.
Not a bad idea. It's not a terrible idea.
I don't want to tank for Lincoln Riley.
You would for Caleb Williams.
I would tank for Caleb Williams.
I would sit everybody for the rest of the year for Caleb Williams. I think he's that good.
You're gonna have to have Caleb Williams smoking from a bong to get him in Dallas.
Fact.
You're gonna have to have
maybe Jerry's got that kind of money to give him, man. He's got
Hey,
that kind of money.
here's your signing bonus. Go buy a gas mask. We'll see you at 17.
Yeah, I need you to go Laramie Tunstall on these fools.
Yeah.
I don't even think that would inhibit him being the first pick overall in the draft. I think teams still take him.
The Cardinals would be like, what gas mask?
Yeah, what? Who cares? It's legal here in Arizona. He can do
Maybe-
it all he wants.
Maybe Dobbs. Is it legal in Arizona?
I don't know. I'm sure it is. It's legal in
Maybe
Nevada and California.
Maybe Dobbs could go full Geno Smith and win Player of the Year, and they just go with Dobbs.
I don't know that he has the kind of talent that Geno Smith has, but I mean, Dobbs, he looked pretty good the other. And what I was surprised at was the quarterback read. Geno had talent at one point.
When?
He found it a little bit again last year.
He sucked as a senior.
Well, yeah.
He hadn't been good since his junior year at West Virginia. He got punched in the face with the Jets, broke his jaw. Didn't ever do anything in the NFL. 8 years in.
Yeah.
He's good again with the Seahawks.
Hey, man, sometimes it just takes those many years sitting on the bench being the number 2 guy to learn how the NFL works.
Or just finally find a system that works for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you have to do a whole lot in Pete Carroll's system. It's
exactly
hand the ball off, do a lot of play action passing.
And what
he's got DJ Metcalf to throw the ball to, and whenever he throws in double coverage, Metcalf's probably still going to catch it.
I'm just saying, Dobbs could surprise some people.
You think so? Or are you just hoping that he does for the Cowboys' sake?
I hope
there's a little bit of that going on here, isn't there?
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, it is. It is what it is right now. I mean,
if Lincoln Riley is the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, I would cry.
Bring him home.
Don't want Lincoln Riley.
You don't want Lincoln Riley to be the head coach?
No.
That would mean he would probably bring Cliff as his offensive coordinator.
Now, that would be funny. But your defense would go to shambles without Dan Quinn.
Oh, well, just keep Dan Quinn.
That's what I'm saying. If Mike McCarthy leaves, I just want Dan Quinn to be the head coach because I don't want to lose this defense.
Alan said Geno lost to Neil Brown / Tuberville team in 2012. Yeah. Not just lost.
Hammered.
You got boat raced out of Lubbock.
And then they lost like 5 more games because they got hammered.
They were number 4 in the country when they came to Lubbock.
Yeah, 4 or 5.
Yeah. Depending on what poll you looked at.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the Cowboys' sake, yeah, the Patriots this week, I mean, that's another defense that Dak might struggle with. At least it's at home. You know what's crazy? That the Cowboys win in Arizona last week. They're 3-0. The line is sitting at a 7 right now, I think, in this one here at home with New England. That line without New England, without Dallas losing that game to Arizona and looking so bad, that line's probably at least 2 touchdowns.
No, I don't think Vegas is that reactionary. What book is that?
For the Cowboys, MGM.
Yeah, I don't think they're that reactionary. I mean, it might have been 10.
Or no, that's the Caesars sports book. My bad.
Still Vegas.
But yeah, that's.
I don't think they go full 7-point swing. I'm sure that line is independent. All right. Speaking of 7-point lines, the Texas Tech Red Raiders favored by 7-10. I think it opened at 7 and went to 10, ballooned to 10. If you lose this game, the season is over. I'm saying it right now. Call it an overreaction for Overreaction Wednesday here. But if you lose this game, the season is toast. Would you agree or disagree with that statement, Carson?
I mean, I would agree. I think everybody would agree. I think Joey McGuire and the staff would agree. They won't say it out loud, but this is a must win. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist, a person who's, knows a bunch of college football or is Kirk Herbstreit, the guy sitting on the side of the road that has not watched a college football game all year says that Texas Tech has to win this football game to have a chance at being a bowl eligible team. We're talking about bowl eligibility now. We're not even talking about having a chance to be at the top of the Big 12 or do anything special at the top of the Big 12. Now, mathematically, yes, you still do have a chance to do some things in the Big 12. You have everything in front of you. Obviously, one loss to West Virginia.
You're in second place in the Big 12.
Yeah, not going to hamper a season if you go and win the rest of the season. But if you lose this game to Houston, wheels fall off. I think you lose you lose a bit of the locker room if you haven't lost most of it already. And by that, I mean, this day and age, kids kind of check out when things start going wrong. It's going to have to be one of those deals where you better have a really, really, really good culture, and that the brand better be true and real if you lose this football game. And I don't think it's one of those that you should lose, but it's definitely one that you can lose because you haven't looked good at all in times when you've had to do and get things done. It just is. It doesn't look good right now. The defense has not been terrible. Let's not get that mixed up in this whole thing. The defense, I thought, has performed pretty well for the most part this season. They've, other than not getting enough takeaways, I know that they want to get a lot of, but they got 2 last week in West Virginia. Joey says, it's take 3 university. If we can get 3 turnovers, your win percentage, your win chance goes up to 90-something% if you get 3 takeaways.
And you got that fumble that they didn't overturn.
Right. Yeah. That
brutal.
That was so bad because he straight took it out of him before the whistles even blow. Yeah. And he's on the ground with the football.
But you're on ESPN Plus, so you don't have a third camera.
Right. So, and it's all West Virginia's people running the cameras, and sometimes Cletus gets caught watching the game instead of looking at the camera. But yeah, it's definitely a must win here in Lubbock this week. And Caesars has it as an 8-point spread for Texas Tech. But on the flip side of that, it's kind of a must win for Dana Holgorsen to kind of keep this thing together in Houston as well. I mean, if you look at their record, I mean, sitting at 2-2 with a loss to Rice, if you start off, the way in this league that is not, I mean, you're 0-2 in the league in your first year, and then you're looking at, who do they have? They have West Virginia at home next, and then Texas. You're looking at 0-4 in this league pretty quickly, and Dana is done if that happens.
Joey's coaching for this season. Dana's coaching for his job.
Yeah.
And Dana referenced this game at least 3 times in the Big 12 media days. This is Dana's Super Bowl. I'm worried about this game.
I am too. I'm worried about it just because you never know what you're going to get.
It was Neil Brown's Super Bowl because he hadn't beaten Tech yet, and he
needed that win too.
And now you have Dana, who is in the same boat. History with Texas Tech, wants to beat Texas Tech, wanted to have an opportunity to coach here. They turned him down, wouldn't even interview him. And now he comes back with an opportunity to play him. This is just like last week. And last week he got beat. Now this is a 10-point line. Yes, still is.
It's 8 and it's Caesar.
So it's 8 now.
Yeah.
So it's come back down a little bit, I guess, with the injury news about Morton, which he's allegedly healthy. Allegedly.
I hope he is. Let's all hope he is.
Speaking of being healthy, somebody did ask on the starting line chat line, the Seager hit by pitch turned out to be nothing, right? We didn't talk about that earlier.
No, we didn't. We forgot about that.
He left the game with a forearm contusion, but I saw this morning the x-ray was negative, yeah?
Yeah, and x-rays were negative. They don't really tell you a whole lot more. Yeah. If you see him in the lineup here the lineup will come out probably at about 2 or 3 o'clock today, our time.
I would assume
then he's fine.
I would assume he doesn't play tonight.
You would.
Yeah. But he'll play against the Mariners.
That could be true too.
I think you get 1 day off.
Yeah, that could be true.
Because you need him. You need this game, but you also really need him if you make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So it's a fine line between what Bochy decides there.
I think he'll leave it up to Corey, to be honest with you.
Well, then he's playing.
Yeah.
What was I saying? Oh, Houston. Houston has not been good at all. They were down 28-0 to Rice before coming back all the way and going to overtime, still losing the game. You mentioned the defense. The defense held Wyoming to 20 in regulation. You lost that game. Held West Virginia to 20 in regulation. You lost that game. And then held an Oregon team that absolutely boat raced Colorado the next week to 31 offensively. Or 30. Was it 31? Yeah, because they ended up at 38.
Yeah.
You at 30. Just everything that you've needed the defense to do this year, they've done. You just have not been good offensively. Now, what can fix the offense?
What can fix the Texas Tech offense?
Yeah.
Your favorite saying in the whole entire world. You even have a hat that says it.
I do. I have two hats.
RTB. RTDB.
DB, yeah. You can't forget the
damn. Run the ball. Yeah, why not? Here's the thing: is Taj Brooks is in every single week the play-by-play guys say the NFL style runner in Taj Brooks. You know, every time he's an NFL caliber running back. I think that he'll have a chance definitely to play at the next level and actually do things at the next level as a running back in the NFL. If you have that on your roster, why are you not using that and making that your key to your offense? Look at a guy like a Washington a few years ago, who even Cliff Kingsbury, who wanted to throw the pill around the yard. You use him because he's your best player on the offensive side. Like he is what allowed Patrick Mahomes and even Davis Webb at times to really be better than what they should have been early in their careers, because you had that. DeAndre was a home run waiting to happen if he got to the second level, and Taj Brooks can do the same thing. I don't know that he has the same speed that DeAndre Washington had at the top speed, but Taj Brooks can get you 5 yards a carry, 4 yards a carry. Last time I checked, Rob, 3 times you do that 3 times, it's a first down every time. And until they can show they can stop it, why go away from it? He should run the ball at least 20 to 25 times a game, at least.
And he got 23 last game, but 21 of them were in the second half.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Let's maybe 15 and a half.
And this offensive line we thought was going to be one of your strengths has not been one of your strengths. At times they have not been good, but for Taj Brooks, it's not so much. All you got to do is just let him get to the next level. Let him get through that first level, hold your block for a couple seconds, and let him get to the next level. We saw the speed last week with that fourth down play, being able to bust it outside and beat a return man who runs a 4.40, beats him to the sideline, gets a first down. It's a huge first down at the time because it keeps the game going until you have 4 really bad play calls right after that. The whole, you go away from running the football when running the football had been your strength the whole entire time, moving the football down the field. You had one big play to Jordan Brown. That was it. Running the football is what got you down in that range anyways. So the first play call, it came down to play calling in that game. And I haven't been critical of Zach Kittley. I think that he's smart. He knows how to be an offensive coordinator, and I think he is a good offensive coordinator, but the play calling at the end of the game was not good. It was not good. And I know I'm not an offensive coordinator. You could say all you want to, but we've been around it enough. I've been around college football enough, in the locker rooms enough to know that that's just not what can get it done. You don't throw and they're going to sit here and tell you that they got a linebacker matched up on Nehemiah Martinez and they knew they had a mismatch. You don't throw a fade to him. Throw a route where you run inside of him, get inside of him, quick jab step outside, run inside of him to a post route. If it's man-to-man on a linebacker, run that. Don't run a fade to the back of the end zone where Nehemiah Martinez is still a foot shorter than the guy that's guarding. That is a horrendous.
Or jab inside and go out.
It's a horrendous first play call on a first down where you need to go score a touchdown. It's just really bad. And then, of course, I thought the throw that Barron made to who was that in the back of the end zone that he threw that to?
Jaden York. He missed.
Yeah, Jaden York. Thank you. Missed time to jump, and that's hard to watch, especially going back and watching the game. I did that to myself again, which I always say I'm not going to. Yeah. Did it to myself again.
Yeah.
And then my thing is run it on first and second down right there. Then we can worry about throwing the football. Because when you get in tight, the defense gets an extra defender, which is the boundary at the back end of the end zone, and it makes it easier to defend. Why not run the football when running the football was really working at that point anyways? And then you could run it where Barron keeps it as well if you need him to. He's got that mobility and availability too. I know his shoulder got banged up, but at the end of the day, man, if you need to win a football game, you've got to call the plays to go win a football game. That's what it comes down to. Yeah. And you can't just give away downs like they did in that final drive. I thought they gave away those final 4 downs. I really did. They had one good play call. That was a play call to Jaden York, and he just missed time his jump. It's going to happen.
That was a perfect throw. You couldn't have thrown it any better.
No, over the defenses.
Now, why was it Jaden York and not Mason Tharp?
Or Baylor Cup. One of your big tight ends. I don't know.
6'4".
Yeah.
But if he was 6'9", could that have hit him in the hands? Would he have caught it? I don't know. Would he have been in place? I don't know. Not as a crisp of a route runner as Mason Tharp. It's hard to run crisp routes at 6'9".
Yeah. And it really just comes down to run the football, set up the pass. If you can allure, especially with Houston, who I know they do like to play a lot of man-to-man coverage. If they want to do that, cool. But if they do run man-to-man coverage, that takes at least 4 eyes off of the running back, and that takes 4 guys out of the play, maybe even 5 guys out of the play, because your tight ends can run a fake route. If you run a lot of RPO this week, which Zach Kittley's offense did at Western Kentucky, I don't know why you've gone away from it here, maybe because of Tyler Shuck and not wanting him to get out and run a whole lot, but you have run Tyler Shuck a lot. Yeah. And I don't know how much they're going to run Barron this week.
0, hopefully.
But here's my thing too, is if you have that capability, you have a quarterback like Barron Morton who can do those things. Like you don't want to do it a ton, but you still have to show that that's part of what we do. I think you still have to do that because that makes you 3-dimensional on the offensive side.
0.
You can't just be 2-dimensional.
Yes, you can. There should be 0 designed runs for Barron Morton, because if he gets hurt, it's Jake Strong. And if he gets hurt, it's Will Burns. And if he gets hurt,
no, it's probably Coy Aiken before Will Burns. But yeah,
whatever.
I watched Coy Aiken play quarterback for a game in high school when they're at Stephenville, when their quarterback went down to playoff game. Yeah. Coy Aiken can sling it. He's pretty good.
Yeah, but 0 reps since that game, probably.
I bet you he got some this week. You never know.
Maybe.
But, it is one of those deals where I think you have to show it at some points. Maybe on a, 3rd and short where you pull it and Barron gets the first down and slides. Like, cool with that.
As long as he's not getting hit. Because he already has a shoulder issue.
But here's the thing. If you want to win a football game, you've got to be able to run your full playbook.
If they run quarterback power with Barron Morton, I'm going to vomit.
There's no way Barron Morton's not that kind of quarterback. You can't run that quarterback power like Tyler Shuck does. He's just not that guy.
Tyler Shuck wasn't that guy. Arguably.
He could go get a yard. I mean, what he did in the bowl game against Ole Miss when you needed yards, Tyler Shuck ran the quarterback power and got you yards.
You know who else gets yards? The running backs. If I see a quarterback power, I will vomit. I promise you.
So I'll make sure not to be standing by you whenever we have the football. Yeah.
All right. Final thoughts?
Yeah, just how bad you need a win this week if you're Texas Tech football. It just is one of those, and it's not going to affect Joey's job at the end of the day. There's always going to be people after you lose and struggle that say that you should be fired and all this. And Zach, it could affect Zach Kittley's job depending on how the offense looks. it very easily could affect that, because if it's not working, I know Joey is not the guy that will fire or let go of somebody in the middle of a season, but definitely could be at the end of the season, especially this team. If you don't take this team to a bowl game, if you don't win at least, and you still have a chance to do it, if you don't win at least 6 games with this team, then really how good are you? And Joey isn't calling plays. He's not doing defensive stuff. He's a general manager of this team. And at the end of the day, what happens to a general manager when the team doesn't perform well, the players on the field don't perform well? You have to get rid of coaches that you have hired.
Yeah.
Or you get rid of.
Mac Brown did it a lot.
Yeah, Mac Brown's done it quite a bit. You know, and you look at what Eli Drinkwitz did at Missouri. He was the offensive coordinator and play caller, and he decided, you know what, I'm going to bring in an offensive coordinator this year. And look at what Missouri's done this year. They're 3-1 right now, or 4-0 right now.
4-0.
And playing Vanderbilt, they're about to be 5-0, and then they go to LSU, or they have LSU at home. So there's a lot to be said about finding the right fits and finding good coordinators. And Zach, I think, can be one. He's just he's got to be smarter about what he does. And I know that he knows this more than anybody, and I'm nowhere near being as intelligent or, you know, any of that stuff. But we've been around it enough. We've been around the coaching circle enough to know that you can't run a fade route to a 5'5" running back out of the backfield on first down whenever you've ran the football really well. Like, that's just that seems to be common knowledge to me. And you ran that play, and it was ridiculous.
Yeah,
you can't run that play again.
That play doesn't get him fired, but scoring 20 points a game certainly might.
Yeah, that's not good. Not with this offense. Not with Jerron Bradley and you know, the Jordan Browns and Taj Brooks and Baylor Cupp, and you have 2 of the best tight ends in the conference. Why not use them more? So, and I do want to say too, you know, we always want to hate Texas, but Quinn Ewers, again, a lot of respect for Quinn Ewers this week. Just want to say that he moved up the totem pole in my mind this week in a press conference.
That was his best game
this week, and in his press conference this week. Quinn Ewers is slowly moving up the depth chart in my mind of guys that I like in this conference. And I don't like that he wears burnt orange. Some of their fans, and you know what, everything they say on Twitter right now, you got to take it, because they're not wrong about how bad Texas Tech looks right now.
Yeah, but why are they focused on Texas Tech?
Yeah, well, because this is the last year they can be focused on Texas Tech, I think.
Rent-free. It
is nice to be rent-free, though. You're right. It is cool.
What did he say? Haley says, why did you like Quinn Ewers' press conference?
Okay, well, in his press conference, he was asked a question of, you know, this year he seems to play with more freedom and enjoy playing the game of football more this year than he did in the past, where he looked stressed, he looked, you know, not as calm, all those things. And he said it just came down to his faith. It comes down to his trust, and that the only freedom you're going to find is a freedom in Jesus. And that, for a kid to say that at a University of Texas, especially, like, we know what the University of Texas, there's a lot of people there that don't believe in what Quinn Ewers had just professed himself at that moment. And to say that, you're at the University of Texas, you know, everybody's going to see this press conference. It's not like there's a difference in being the quarterback at the University of Texas and the quarterback at Texas Tech. There's a difference in that. Being the quarterback at the University of Texas puts you in the spotlight. It's like being the shortstop for the New York Yankees. It's that kind of spotlight. And for him to do that in that kind of spotlight, gain a lot of respect for a young man that can wear his beliefs out in the open like that, and be true to himself. And you know what? That's what Steve Sarkisian said afterwards, is that's why he loves that kid. There's not a moment where he's not true to himself and true in what he does on the field as well. So you gain a lot of respect for a kid that can do that.
I'm still a hater for now.
That's fair.
All That's right. Fair. And the Twitter accounts are crazy and say wild stuff. And it's just ridiculous.
You and Kyle's boy Kyle Umlong was getting after it this week.
Yeah. Well, that's his goal.
That's his shtick. Yeah, that's how he gets clicks, and he's got to get clicks to make money. So,
yep.
It is. I mean, it's not like unlike what we all try to do anyway. So,
yeah, same.
Been there, done that.
All right, I think that's it from us. We'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll be here. I won't be here Friday, but we can come back tomorrow.
All right, let's do a Thursday show, make some picks and more. Tomorrow we'll talk about the end of the Angel series. We'll see if we're 2 or maybe even 1 magic number away from. Well, we will be 1 magic number away from beating somebody if the Rangers
Right.
So you got to eliminate somebody, but we'll see. You got to win tonight to do that. Regardless, you'll be 2 away from eliminating somebody. Hopefully the Astros. Go Mariners.
Yeah.
The Astros tonight. We are big Mariners fans tonight. As the Astros are trying to win this division, we're trying to get around them. All right, that's it for us. We'll be back tomorrow for an afternoon show around 12. And we'll get it done then. We'll make some picks and more. It's Rob Bro Show with Carson Robinson. We'll be back tomorrow.
Peace.